Welcome to the next episode of Scared Shitless, where we talk about the uncomfortable, the messy, the terrifying parts of building a life, but doing it anyway. My name is Sarah Samajust, and I am your host. And today we have a very, very special guest who I am honored to also call a very dear friend, Carina Guzman.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming all the way to my house.
Thank you for having
me. To have just like a honest, genuine conversations just about, not just about your journey, but just about the challenges that you've had along the way. Because a lot of people see you as a success, and I do too. But I'm sure on a daily basis, you still have certain challenges that you're encountering, just like everybody else. I'm not going to go into all the projects that she's into right now because there's a lot, and maybe you can find it in the bio. But Carina is a mom. She's also a wife. She has her land development academy, and she has multiple projects, land development projects that she is currently developing and eventually building. Tell us how you manage all of that.
Yes. Well, first of all, thank you for having me. I love being around you, and we always catch up. We could talk for hours. So
100%.
this is like natural, you know, because we talk a lot about this, you and I, like all the struggles, all the ups and downs, the roller coaster that we go through literally on a day-to-day basis. Like that's what you and I talk about, and we brainstorm about, which is like the nice thing of having this kind of, you know, friendship. But so how do I manage it all? I mean, I don't. Like, honestly, like, I would say probably it's people. So it's not just me doing everything. It's everyone around me. And I've gotten really good at finding people who want to be part of what I'm doing, who are really good about doing those things that I'm not good at. And that's like it's a big thing, right? Whatever business, whatever it is that you're doing, like you need people, and it's just everything. It's about people and getting the right resources and people who will really help. Like even on my way here, right? Like I see the inbox filling up and I see messages, and I have my girl, I'm like, can you send this out? Can you do that? And we work as a team together, right? So Dave too, like my husband is, you know, Dave, like we're also like messaging, can you get this done or that, or whoever else, right, that I need to send it to. So it's not just me. It's really honestly like the people that are around me that help me do it. I could not do it without them, especially doing this many.
Do you ever have trouble finding the right people?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think it's just natural. Like, especially as you become more niche in what you're doing and really like trying to grow and scale, and like finding the right people to help you do that is a challenge for sure. You do become more specific and more, I think I become very like stern in like what I need to have things done. My patience is probably like less than what I used to have as well. So all of those things, but they come as part of the pressure, as part of like doing so many different things. And you're like, we don't have time. Like time is of essence. And like, I've developed this sense of like urgency all the time, but for you, it's urgent, but it's not necessarily urgent for someone else. So kind of driving that with the team, the type of urgency that I need them to work in and myself, right? So I'm the example. And I'm trying to get them to be like, this is why it's so urgent. And I actually explain it. Like, it's urgent because of these things, and letting them know so that they also apply it with urgency. So it is a challenge finding the right people, and it's tough, but at the same time, it helps you grow too, because you're like, oh, okay, this person didn't quite work out because we couldn't get this completed, or they maybe didn't know exactly understood it. So maybe I need to get better at that as well as a leader, somebody who's leading a team. So it helps. Like, but you're always looking for the right people.
Right.
You know?
It's interesting because, like you said, you only find out if it's a wrong fit after you hire them. So, and sometimes you want to give them a little bit of time to kind of catch up to your values and get up to speed to how you want things to function. But just like you, I do find that as I get deeper into business, or as you acquire more experience, you just have so much less time for sugarcoating things.
That's right.
And it's just like direct to the point. And I like that you said that you explain why. So they don't just feel like a puppet, like, well, get this done.
Yeah.
Right? It's just, okay, well, this is important because, I don't know, maybe the project needs to move along and this is the bottleneck, right? So this has to get done.
Mm-hmm.
When you first started out as a land developer, I actually want to mention that land development is not the first business that you started.
That's right.
Do you want to tell us what you did before?
Oh my goodness. Sure.
Or, yeah. I don't know if there's one or many.
Yeah. I mean, there is a few.
Okay.
Actually. Yeah.
Okay.
So I did start, I started my own boutique service shop, still real estate related, but we had like literally a brick and mortar office where we would bring in like the architect, first the acquisition. So I did a lot of the acquisition stuff, the permitting. So helping investors buy property, entitling them, getting all the approvals. And then we had the construction arm as well. So we would do the construction stuff for them. It's like an all-in full circle boutique service for real estate investors. So we did do that. I did that for 4 years, actually. Wow. So even before that, I did invest in like properties, like real estate properties on my own in my 20s. So learning like how to manage, properties, become a landlord, and all of the things that come with landlording. That's in itself like a business.
Yes. 100%.
And then I also went into modular construction.
Yes, I remember that.
So this was now in 2016, I think it was. So I also owned the rights with like a manufacturing company in Kingston, and I brought it into Ottawa. I had my my build teams. I had 3 build teams set up here, and I was like the front facing of like bringing the modular construction into Ottawa. We were probably too early at that time. Like, mind you, this is 2016. We're in 2025 now. Now things are a lot different. But back then, and it's not even that long ago, but still, the city was like, we don't understand modular. We don't understand panels. We don't understand this. The deposit structure was different than what you would normally do with like regular typical construction. Yes. So like moving into that space completely failed because the manufacturing company could not deliver. They ended up taking too many jobs, which is great, as a new company, and you're scaling and you're seeing the success. But at the same time, it requires a lot of capital to build out the panels. And one thing in hindsight that I think was probably one of the reasons why it failed is because they were trying to cater to everyone. And it's like, yes, we do modular, but we can do it in anything that you want. You can do custom, you could do everything. And they said yes to everything, whereas technically modular works really well with like preset assemblies, preset sizes, all of that. Now, of course, before at that time, I was like, this is amazing. And the product was amazing. But in the end, if the manufacturer could not deliver on the product, it doesn't matter if I made the sales and I brought in the clients and I found the lands for them and I did all of that. It would still suck, if you can't deliver the product. So that failed. That was like, in essence, a partnership between myself and the manufacturing company.
Are they still around, or did you just remove yourself from that?
I actually did remove myself, but they ended up having to close down.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
And I have to say, I did experience some challenges with getting approved for modular construction with the city.
Yes.
And to tell you the truth, once my designer was pushing for that, I was afraid to move forward with it because I didn't know how many construction companies were familiar with it. So I didn't want a product that was so niche that, you know, I couldn't find a regular, maybe general contractor, construction company to oversee the project. So we eventually, you know, stepped back from that approach. And regardless, it was going nowhere with the city. You know, it was building permit tough. was tough. And maybe I didn't have the right team at the time. However, now I see a couple more being built in Ottawa. So it kind of gives confidence that maybe in the future, this is something that the city is going to be approving more and more. And maybe they'll understand it a little bit better. And maybe companies such as the one that you were involved with would be able to thrive in the future.
I think now you're right. Like the market has changed. The environment has changed. The regulations have changed. So much change has happened.
100%.
Financing around it has also changed.
Yes,
right?
That's a big thing.
So it's like there's definitely a lot more advancement towards actually making this work. But yeah, I think it's going to be, it's still a little while away.
Yeah, it is. But it slowly, you know, if it was 1 out of 1,000, now it's 1 out of 100.
Exactly. That's right.
And we're progressing towards it. Where did you get your entrepreneurial spirit? Like, to have tried so many things like that?
I don't know, Sarah. I get this question asked all the time. So I did not come from an entrepreneurial family at all. Zero. Okay. In fact, I came from a very much like immigrant household. We came to Canada from like escaping war, right? So I was born and raised in El Salvador. And then coming here, my parents were like, get a job. Get a government job. Well, go to school, get a government job, and live happily ever after. Like that's all my parents ever pushed for.
Right.
So much so that we were not allowed to do sports. Like, you know, we weren't allowed to, I couldn't even join like a book club because it would just take me away from like school. Wow. Which in hindsight, like it's kind of crazy because I'm a parent now and I'm like, of course, I would love my children to love books that much that they would join a book club. But it was like that much. So I think I don't really know where, honestly, it came from. I can just tell you that I just felt I'm not a really good employee. Like I am really not.
Typically, those people make good entrepreneurs.
Yes,
because you can't follow rules. You got to make your own rules.
Yeah, like you know, like I'm sure some of you may feel like that. Like it's just like I'm like, how could I? And I had a great job. I got into a company that was really hard to get into. I was in aviation.
Wow.
So like getting into aviation, they're high-paying jobs. I had a great high-paying job. I was always given the ability to do extra stuff. So I would literally just like create my own little projects and I would get the managers to approve it. And they're like, yeah, okay, go for it. You know, and like, I just pitched so many ideas to them. And I remember one time, this is a funny story. I remember one time, one of my directors, I had pitched to him an idea and later on, I found out that he pitched it to his directors as his own. But that, it kind of was like, it took me aback when I learned about it. But it got me excited because I was like, I'm onto something.
Ideas. Yeah.
Like for someone like that to want to steal my ideas, and he was super smart.
Okay.
So I'm like, oh my God, like I thought that was so like terrible, but also so fun at the same time because I was like, that's crazy to think. So I just knew, like, I'm like, I can get away with a lot of different things. And I had the opportunity to like advance and do stuff and all that. It was a great company, but there was still something inside that I was like, oh man, like I can't be here forever. I feel I had a little cubicle. And I actually felt like I was in a box. Like literally, I would go into work feeling like, okay, I gotta go sit in my box. And I'm like, why do I feel this way? When like, I have no stress. Like it was like, you know, I don't know, and now I have a lot more stress.
Did you ever think of going back?
I did. I think we all do.
I know.
Because we're like, why am I doing this to myself? I could just go back and sit in that cubicle. And your paycheck totally fine.
Yeah.
100%. I think we've all thought about that. Like, why am I hurting myself when I don't have to? But I just felt like, I I just have so much more in me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a very creative person. Like, I was not good
are.
at school. I'll be honest. Like, I was not good at school at all. I pretty much just like surfaced through like C's most of the time. It took me forever to learn English. I think all of my sisters, I have 3 sisters, I think they all learned it before I learned it.
Wow.
It took me so long to like grasp math and anything really. Like, my English teacher was like, you really should not write. You have terrible grammar. I was just not good at school.
Right.
And then going into a corporate job, I was not good at taking directions. I was like, I think we should do it this way.
Right.
And I was not good at asking permission to take time off and to do things. I'm like, I just want to go and do it. Like, why do I need to ask for permission? Obviously, we know we have to. But that was always inside of me, like all the time. Like, why? Like, let's just go do it. Yeah. And who knows what's gonna happen? You know. Yeah.
I totally, honestly, that feeling.
Yeah.
I mean, I never necessarily felt like I was in a box, but that feeling of asking for vacation, or I remember one time Leonard and I, we went away, we traveled, and we got back at like 3 a.m. and we drove from like, I can't remember, but it was somewhere close in the States, and then it was going to be like 2 hours to get home. So we got back at home at like 5 a.m. and then we went to work the next day, and I was like, why? And then because we didn't want to take an extra day of vacation,
right?
And we're like, we almost got in a car accident because we were so tired.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
But yes, those are the feelings where you're just like, why am I doing this? Like, know, I need more freedom.
Yeah.
What did your family think? So you're saying that your parents, they wanted you to get a good job, government job, get your pension. Mm-hmm. I know you were an adult when you decided to really go full force, quit your job, and become an entrepreneur. More specifically, I think it was you quit because of land development. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay. What was the feedback like in your family?
So, I'll be honest, this is the first time I even say this out loud, but like my family knows. So I actually intentionally did not tell anyone. Like, I was doing real estate on the side forever. So I bought my first property when I was 22, 23, around there. I just really went into it. Even all of them, like opening up that brick and mortar, doing the full service, like no one really knew about it. My family didn't know about it. Starting with that modular company as a partnership, like nobody really, I didn't speak to them about it. Right. I just kind of did all of this on the side not because I didn't want to tell them, but because my parents are very stressed out. Like they're very immigrant, and anybody who understands, like very traditional, very immigrant, non-entrepreneur, very risk-averse. Yeah. So I knew it just caused them a lot more stress. And, as a lot of us can feel like, I don't want to stress out my parents. Right. I used to stress out my parents even younger because they were just like, why don't you follow the rules? Like, why don't you? And I would always stress them out. And I'm like, now I'm going to stress them out as an adult too. Mm-hmm. And on top of that, like, I feel like I was, in a way, the one that had gotten a little bit farther than pretty much everybody else. Right. Just because of, like, the high-paying job. Mm-hmm. I had everything else, like, kind of put together because of it. And then to say, like, no, I'm going to uplift everything. We're going to throw it all up in the air and just hope everything lands perfectly, Yeah. I didn't want to do that to my parents. So I actually held it back. Didn't say anything. They did realize afterwards, after a few years.
Why are you free on a Wednesday at 1 p.m.?
Yeah. So I think it took them like a year and a half, 2 years, where they were like, something's a little off here. Like, you're different. Yeah. And then they just somehow noticed it, and we never talked about it. We never really
had a conversation about it.
No.
Okay. Well, maybe it's better like that because no comments is better than negative comments.
Yes.
Right? Because, I mean, as you know, as an entrepreneur, like once you go into it, it's not all rosy.
No.
As a matter of fact,
It's
oftentimes
like the opposite.
It's the
sometimes.
opposite. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're already doubting yourself sometimes. You don't need other people to doubt you as well.
Yeah. And like even now, right? Like I've been in this game for so long now. And even till this day, I really don't talk too much about what I do with my parents. Still to this day, I answer questions, and of course I share a little bit here and there, but it's not because I don't want to. I actually would love to be really honest, but I don't because I know it stresses them out.
Right.
I come from a family where they feel like leverage or debt is a bad thing. They were taught to pay mortgages as quickly as they could, right? Whereas for us, we're like, we buy properties.
Right.
And
we leverage
leverage the bank
Yes.
to give us the mortgage. So for them, knowing that I have multiple mortgages, right, as we all do in real estate, that would not feel good to them. And they would feel stressed out. And even now, like I know when I speak to my parents sometimes, I know from their questions that they're feeling scared for me already. So I just don't want to overwhelm them. So I still, even till today, only respond to things when they ask for it, but I don't deliberately give too much information. Because when you're doing it at this scale, like obviously it's already for me, like a lot of work. I don't want to put that on them.
Yes, 100%.
So it actually has never really changed. We've just remained in this way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, if it's better for the relationship, then why not?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
On a daily basis, I think when people think about land development, they automatically think about like big buildings, right?
Yes.
And land development is not necessarily that. You have used a strategy called flipping the paper for quite a long time. Can you tell us a little bit about that, and why is that a strategy that you decided to focus on?
So it actually started because of my very first development project. And I had bought a double lot, essentially, right? You could throw a rock to the transit line. And then I thought, okay, let me just get the permits. Let me hire, I knew nothing about developing property.
Okay.
At all, like zero. So I was like, let me just figure this out. And I would spend a lot of time at the city office talking to city staff. I got really good at bringing them coffees. Like this is pre-COVID. Like, you could go in and like do all this stuff and talk to them. And that's their job, is to answer your questions. And I just went off and did it. And I tried to meet as many people as I could. But what I realized is that I got the permits for the property. It was a 12-plex.
Okay.
And I would go to a lot of these events, and one guy was like, who I had spoken to in the past about the project. He's like, what are you going to do with it? Are you going to build it? And I'm like, I hadn't even thought that far ahead. Like, that's how like new I was. And then he was like, well, like, I'll buy it from you, and so, and I was like, you would buy the permits? It's like, yeah, because then I want to build. Like, I'm looking for my next project. And that was like a ding, 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 ding. In my head, it's like a light bulb that just like the aha moment.
What do you feel is the single hardest part about land development?
So, that's a good one, because land development, it's very, very different than any other real estate strategy. So like if you're into buying apartment buildings, you underwrite it, you look at all that, and that is very different than underwriting a land development deal. So I think, and there's not a lot of education around this, like to know exactly how to underwrite a land development deal and different types of land development deals, right? Because it's different from underwriting a 10-plex versus underwriting a high-rise versus underwriting a subdivision, right? And then on top of that, the one thing that people don't really discuss or really tell you about, unless you're in it, you would know this. You want to underwrite for your exit.
Right.
Yeah?
Yes.
Like, you could have multiple exits, and you should have, I always say, my rule of thumb is minimum 3, right?
Yes.
And underwrite for that exit so that you can make sure that your values and everything that you're putting in is going to make sense for that exit strategy.
Right.
And then I want to add another one on top of that, which is structuring the deal properly so that it allows you to exit at the end the way that you want to exit. Nobody will tell you this, Sarah. Like, I had to learn it from experience, and once it clicks to someone, it literally clicks. But unless you're in it, you wouldn't know.
Right.
And the reality is this, is that the way that you structure the deal up front, right from the beginning, when you're going to close on that deal, has to allow you to properly exit the way that you want to exit. Do you know how many development deals go wrong or go sideways or just take longer or get into legal battles because one doesn't structure the deal properly, the financing structure, the partnership structure, the VTB structure, everything the way that you're putting this together so that it allows you to exit properly in the end. You could do everything right. Everything right. You could put the deal together, underwrite it properly, get all the entitlements, be budget conscious and like do it. And yet one bad way that you've structured the deal to exit and your deal is over. Like, it is so freaking crazy how this happens. And this happens at any scale. You could be a brand new, you could be a very well-versed developer. It happens all the time. So there's a lot of what I call little landmines,
right,
that we need to be aware of. And it's not to scare people. It's just like, I'm giving you the reality. Like, I've done it. I've done so many mistakes. And like, in hindsight, I'm like, oh, I just want to tell people, like, this is the way. I've had people come to me in the past and they're like, I've already bought the property. I already have this. And then almost like knowing, like, the structure
is not clear.
It's not going to let you do what you want.
Yeah.
And then maybe we can change it. We can fix it. And things are fixable. You can get around it. But the underwriting is probably the hardest thing because it does differ from scale of projects. And then the second thing would be the structure of the deal.
What is the biggest mistake that you've made in land development?
So probably the biggest mistake is thinking how long timing, like how long something's going to take me. I had to learn this the hard way. And even still, like that's why I do teach a lot about market analysis and understanding the regulations within your market. I've actually added that like as an additional module to what I teach because it has hit me up so much. And like, I used to have this rule of thumb where I would say, for a long time, I would say, okay, if you think something's going to take you like 2 years, double it.
Right.
You know? But in reality, it's like, oh my God, wait a minute. It actually could be even longer because then COVID happens.
Exactly.
And then this happens and that happens. So that has just taught me that you have to have really good, strong relationships with people.
You have created the Land Development Academy. Tell me a little bit why you created that and like what that means to you and what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the Land Development Academy was actually not supposed to happen. Like, I didn't plan to teach or put a program together. It actually just happened because like during COVID, I had a lot of friends and old colleagues and friends and people connecting with me and kind of saying I lost my job. This is 2020, right? Like when everything happened and it just felt like the world was going to end. And I initially said no because I had people asking me like, can you teach me what you're doing? I've kind of been following a little bit about what you're doing. And I was like, I'm in like the most busiest time of my life when 2020 hit. I felt like 2020 was like an opportunity time to really like go full force. We actually bought the most amount of properties during COVID. And so I had said no, and then I realized, you know what, like my parents have always taught us about being like really helpful and help when you can, because my parents helped everybody. Like if I've taken anything from my parents, it's that, because they have helped strangers, they helped my family, they brought my cousins to the US, they even paid for their school. Like my parents have done so much for others and not thinking about anything in return. That's just the kind of people that they are. So one day I woke up and I was like, you know what? I really need to be a good human and I need to help when I can. And I can help, which is the thing that hit me the most. Right. Because I'm so blessed to be able to help. I should really help. So I decided I'm going to just like literally like give you my knowledge. And I took 2 students. That turned to 5, and then that turned to 10, and then that eventually turned into like, I'll put it in an online platform and real estate group and teach it at a higher level. That now has transferred into what I now call Land Development Academy, LDA. And it's a full-on platform where we teach all of the foundations from acquisitions to exiting, everything and the reality around land development. Because that was my big thing, is there's so much that you don't know because the space is so gray. And I wanted to give people who generally want to get in, but think it's not possible for me. And it is possible because I did it. Right. So if I did it, anyone can do it. And I'm like, I just need to teach you the ways. Right. So we have the platform where it gives you the foundation, but then we have the community and all the events and everything that we add. My key thing with Land Development Academy is teaching the real land development. What does it actually take for someone to put everything together holistically, like the whole entire picture?
So from acquisition all the way to your exit, depending on that exit.
Exactly. Okay. And then not only that, but like, who do you need to bring in? What does construction look like? What do different kinds of construction look like? How do you structure the deals properly? Every little piece that you are required to put together to make a successful land development deal, that's what we're teaching you. And that's like my biggest, I feel like one of my biggest accomplishments in doing that, because land development is not taught. It's very gray area and it's very male dominated area. And to be a female and to teach in this space, someone who was never a teacher, but I teach from experience. And I bring everybody into LDA, all the contributors into LDA, to teach from their experience. And that is huge, to be able to learn right from someone who does it every single day. That's the difference.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you, you have so much experience in land development, and do you still have fears that show up for you on a daily basis? And if you do, like, what are they?
Oh my God. Yeah.
Okay.
A lot. Like, still, I don't think anyone can ever say you have no fears. That would just be like, you're not human. How is that possible? But yeah, 100%. So, like I started with small scale developments and I've grew to larger subdivision developments. That's fearful. That's scary, because every single time I am taking myself out of my own comfort zone. And I do this to myself, right? Like, it's not like somebody's telling me, go do this. I'm doing it to myself. Right. So I got to remind myself, like, I did this to myself. But it is a struggle in a way, because I have to become better every time. So it is scary. It is scary also because I still have so much to grow when I see others. And that's probably the thing that gets me the most, is when I associate myself with people who are doing it at a large scale, I realize how small I still am. But I think that's good too, because I want to intentionally grow. And you can only grow when you're challenging yourself and when you're surrounding yourself with people who actually challenge you.
Yes, 100%.
And if I'm always the one that's the smartest, then it's like, you know, that feeling, right? You've heard this all the time, and you're supposed to do that. And I want to kind of touch on this a little bit, because this idea, like, surround yourself with like-minded individuals.
Mm-hmm.
It's a phrase that we all hear about in the personal development. I think it's taken to the extreme almost, because like everybody stays there. You stay with like-minded individuals, but I can tell you from my experience, that's not where the growth happens. You literally, you have to, and I say this to everybody that I teach and coach and mentor, you actually need to get yourself outside of your like-minded group. If you're always staying in your like, how are you ever going to grow? You can't. And that comes with practice. It comes with practice. You actually have to get out there. You have to feel small. You have to let it fuel you to become more than what you are before. So that is like, in a way, like it gets my fear, because I come in and I'm like a small person again. But then at the same time, I'm like, now I'm surrounding myself with high caliber individuals who are doing crazy things. And I'm like, I now have you as my network and as a friend, and I can bounce ideas with you. That is probably one of my biggest things that I have accomplished, in my view. Is like having the right network and people who can get me to the next level and the next level. But you only get there if you become valuable. And you cannot become valuable if you stay in the same like-minded group. I'm going to tell you that 100%.
So basically your ceiling becomes your floor every time you change groups.
You got it.
During the video with Carina, we ended up having some technical difficulties, unfortunately. So we lost the ending of the interview. However, if you do want to reach out to her and found her story interesting, you can find her contact information at landdevelopmentacademy.com. And that just means that we'll have to have her back to tell us more about her journey. As always, thank you for watching. And if you like these videos, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. We'll see you at the next one.